I'm glad you're here, Henry.
What's happening, sir?
Uncle Sir Hanush sent for me. No doubt he wants to give me another ear-bashing about the error of my ways. And he said to bring you too.
Oh, Sakra. That doesn't...
Indeed. I wonder what he wants to lecture me about this time. And you, because you're going with me.
All right, we should get going then, shouldn't we, Sir Hans? The sooner we get it over and done with, the better.
I suppose so. Right away. I put some of my old clothes in a trunk for you. I don't want you making me look bad in front of Hanush. So go and get...
Thanks, Sir Hans.
So, should we go then?
Let's go. And by the way, I'm glad you got dressed up properly. Clothes make the man, and in your case, it's quite a transformation. Come along then.
Well, my ward and his, what shall we say, chaperone.
Uncle.
My lord?
I hope we haven't dragged you away from anything too important.
Not at all, Uncle. We
like
were just...
boozing and whoring, for instance.
Uncle, I can...
Perhaps you were busy, causing mayhem in the middle of the night and beating up my subjects.
No, it wasn't... Henry and I were just...
Henry's as big a fool as you are. But he's not my ward, thank Christ. What the hell do the pair of you think you're doing? There are people in this fiefdom who work from dawn to dusk to put food on their tables and on yours, may I remind you. And then they look at you, Hans, their lord and master, and see a drunken layabout. That fellow you beat up last night was a guard, a new guard on the town watch. And he couldn't report for duty this morning because of his injuries. I had the bailiff here complaining, and could I tell him what I really think about this whole sorry affair? Of course not. That would demean me. And you too. So I had to sit gaping like a stuffed owl and listen to his grievances. Maybe you think because you're the lord here you can get away with anything. But you're sadly mistaken, you blockhead. A lord remains a lord only as long as he commands the loyalty of his subjects. And I'm sure I don't have to tell you the folk here are not exactly enchanted at the prospect of having you in charge. That was the last straw, Capon. One more of your escapades and I'll send you to your mother in Polnar. For all I care, she can dress you up like a wench and marry you off to some Hungarian.
Uncle, that arson Archibald tried to murder me. What was I to do?
Oh, don't exaggerate. Well, I'm hardly surprised after you molested his girl and humiliated him.
I was only...
Oh, don't whine, for heaven's
sorry.
sake. It's about time you started taking some responsibility. I have a job for you. Maybe that will keep you out of mischief. Sir Milota of Oleshna has turned up here. Do you know him?
Isn't he Sir Bernard's cousin?
He is. He came here with the remnants of his retinue to seek refuge. He's seriously wounded.
What happened to him, sir?
His fortress Oleshna was attacked by one Wulfrin of Camburg. Milota pursued him almost as far as Neuhof and engaged with him. Unfortunately, the skirmish didn't end well for Milota.
Wulfrin of Camburg? That name is familiar.
He's kin to the Oleshna lords, too. A cousin of Bernard's and Milota's. Their family affairs are a little complicated. None of my business, of course. I just wish they'd found somewhere else to thrash out their differences.
What do you want us to do, sir?
Go and see Bernard in the courtyard. He got a report that Wolfland pillaged some other farms around Neuhof, and he's putting a squad together to ride against him. Mind your step, though. It's a family affair. After all, maybe more to it than meets the eye. The important thing is to get that damn scavenger out of the domain. If possible, without bloodshed. I can't afford to lose any men over this business. Have I made myself clear?
Yes, sir.
Very well, Uncle.
Get to work, then.
Oh. Well, if it isn't the world-renowned victor of the rat-eye tourney, Henry of Skalitz.
So, what do you think of...
Old Hannah, she's right about one thing. It's time to stop chasing wenches and start chasing bandits. It'll be a bit of excitement for a change.
I agree. I was worried you'd be upset after Sir Hanish's speech.
Why would I? I finally have a chance to show Uncle what I can do. I can't wait. We'll ride there, hack those bastards to pieces, and celebrate with a good drink in the evening.
That sounds like a good plan.
Goodbye. What the?
Fucking bandits. I'd much rather do battle with other nobles. Why? Bandits are easier to defeat, aren't they? Maybe, when you're face to face with them. But those sneaky fuckers are always hiding somewhere in the woods like animals. With the nobles, you know where you are. They have rules.
Sir Hanish sent me, Captain. I'm to join your mission. And Sir Hans, too.
Then mount up, youngster, and we'll move out. Good health, dude.
What do we do now?
First, we have to find out where those Horsons are holed up. According to the reports, they raided a few farms around here. So someone should go to those places and find out what they can. You should do it, Henry. My men would probably just startle them.
All right, Captain.
One is uphill from Neuhof, right by the woods. One here above the woods by the crossroads, directly north from our camp.
Tell me, Captain, how come this Wolfland is attacking his own kin?
They say blood's thicker than water, but sometimes I wonder. Look at our king and Sigismund.
So what's the cause of your conflict with Wolfland?
Nothing in particular. Just that he's a ruffian, a treacherous bastard, and a bandit. No wonder the whole Camber clan is cursed.
How are you related?
Milota, Wolfin, and I have the same great-grandfather, Urban, Baron of Oleshna.
How do you mean cursed?
Like I said, Wolfin's grandfather married Countess Barbara of Holgwitz. She didn't want to bear his child and went to a witch to get rid of it. Only instead of getting rid of the unborn child, she ended up having 5.
What, all at the same time?
All in one night. But only one of them lived till morning. The youngest, Wilhelm. And his face was disfigured. They say the witch deceived the Countess, and it was Satan himself who impregnated her.
And you believe that story?
Depends how you look at it. Wilhelm wasn't a bad man while he was in his right mind, but he was terrifying to look at. I still get shivers down my spine when I think of him. As for Wolfen, word came that he died in Silesia. Then, one day, he appeared from nowhere. There are folk who say death has no power over him.
I want...
You can't...
Well,
Good luck, then.
Jesus Christ be praised.
Captain Bernard sent me. It's about that attack.
Well, they came, took everything they could, and rode...
We're trying to catch up with that gang, so I need to hear every detail you can tell me.
What do you want to know?
How many of them were there?
2 or 3. I'm not sure. My head's still in a spin.
Which way did they go?
I don't know. I wasn't watching. My husband made me hide indoors, and I only saw them through the window.
So your husband was outside?
Yes, he tried to parley with them.
What did they take?
Not much. We haven't a pot to piss in.
So you're telling me they came here, you told them there was nothing worth taking, and they just rode off again, without further ado?
More or less.
But just a while ago, you told me you were indoors the whole time.
Yes. I was. Mostly.
So were you inside or outside? Did you talk to them or not?
Well, like I say, it was confusing. I don't remember much.
Look here, I'm not sure what happened here, but I can't shake the feeling you're holding something back.
No! It's just... it all happened so quickly. I'm still bewildered from it all.
I'm the one who's bewildered. Let me make one thing clear. Those bandits are led by Sir Wolflin, Baron of Camberg, and he's not just some common outlaw. If we don't catch him, there'll be hell to pay. So you better speak up, no matter what happened here.
Lord Jesus. Why must we be persecuted so?
So?
First, promise me you'll get rid of them.
That's exactly what I'm here for.
They came a few days ago, took a pig and a sack of apples. We put up no resistance. I noticed one of them had an injured leg, so I offered to treat it for him.
That was very Christian of you, considering they came to rob you.
All I cared about was that they wouldn't kill us.
Go on.
They rode off, and I prayed we'd seen the last of them. Only the same evening, they came back again. One of them had been wounded, and they wanted me to take a look at him. They gave me some coin and took me to their camp. And in the morning I came home again.
So you know where they're camped? I'd like you to lead me there.
I won't go to their camp, no. But I know of a place where you'll have a good view of it.
That'll do me.
Goodbye. I'm not going any further. If they saw me, I'd be done for. The camp's not far away in this direction.
Thanks. And don't worry, I'll deal with those bastards.
I pray you do.
Looks like I found it. I'd better get back and report to Captain Bernard.
wrong place at the wrong time. This one. Get up! What's the matter?
Ow!
Jesus Christ! Is that all you... Gone weak at the knees, have you? All right, you wet. Bring it on. You all get what for. I'm over here. Come down. Fucking hell! I wanted to vent my rage.
You call that combat?
Is that all you got? I'll... Christ. Christ. Ow.
Good day.
Wolflin's already dead.
Are you serious? How do you know?
That's easy. I killed him myself.
But what happened?
Well, I figured if Wolflin was dead, his gang would disband. So, I killed him.
Jesus Christ! Are you mad, Henry? You went there on your own?
Yes.
Right. Well, I suppose I should go and see for myself. You'd better ride to Ratai and report to Sir Hanush. He won't believe his ears.
Yes, Captain.
Goodbye.
God save you, Henry.
The Lord be praised.
I have news from the camp, Sir Hanush.
Speak.
Unfortunately, we couldn't avoid a skirmish.
Where's Hans? I hope he's not.
There's no need to worry, my lord. Lord Capon's alive and well. Lord Capon is busy celebrating.
So you succeeded?
Wolflin is dead, and his men routed. Captain Bernard and the others are hunting them down in the woods right now.
By God, that's excellent news. I must say, Henry, after all that's happened recently, I'm glad something finally turned out well.
So am I.
And I think you deserve to be rewarded for your efforts.
Thank you, sir.
Take care now.
Greetings.
Sir, can I...
Of course, Henry.
Well, I thought since we chased the bandits out of Pribyslavitz, the roads would be safer.
Ah, criticizing your liege lord, are you? And what, in your opinion, should he do about it?
Oh no, I don't mean anything by it. Just that it surprises me.
Easy, lad. I'm only pulling your leg. You're quite right. The roads really aren't safe. Mostly due to one thing. My garrison is a shamble these days. I lost most of my men in Skalitz, and what I'm left with after Pribyslavitz is hardly enough even to guard Pigstein. Let alone guarding the roads and patrolling the rest of the province. I simply don't have the men.
Uh-huh. I understand.
That is, I didn't have the men. As it happens, you've come at just the right time. Recently, I asked an old acquaintance for help. Sir Kuno of Rickwald and his mercenary band. The men who ride with him are a rough lot, mostly former convicts, but they're as capable as any squad of soldiers.
Well, excuse me for being so bold, but there's plenty of mercenaries around. Surely you can find a more respectable band?
You have a point, lad, but I'd like to tell you I talked to Kuno because I trust him. But actually my reasons are of a more pragmatic nature. You see, Kuno owes me a favour, so he'll serve me free of charge.
So, you want me to join them?
Yes, but that's not all. I told Kuno I'd send him a guide, but really what I need is for someone to keep a close eye on him and his men. Someone reliable. And I'd say you fit the part. Go and report to him at his encampment. You'll ride with his band on patrols and make sure they don't get too disorderly.
Who is this Sir Kuno?
He's the last baron of the House of Rickwald, which became impoverished. So he took to the mercenary trade, like many poor noblemen do, unless they become robbers, which often isn't all that different. He's certainly an entertaining companion, but as a mercenary, well, let's just say he has his own particular approach to certain matters.
That sounds a little worrying.
Oh, it's nothing too bad. Just that now and again he needs reminding not to step over the line.
How is he in...
I did him quite a big service, actually. I saved him from the hangman.
Oh.
You should ask him. You'll be spending quite a while riding together, but one thing I can tell you, he seems to have taken inspiration from me. A lot of his men had their own encounters with the executioner too.
All right.
Excellent. He set up camp between... Good luck, Henry.
I will, sir.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
I'll be with you. I'm looking for Sakuno. Sakuno? Baron Rickvold. Isn't this his camp?
You won't get nothing out of him. You must be Radzig's man. I heard he was supposed to send someone.
Yes, Sir Radzig sent me as a guide. I'm Henry.
I'm Jakey. And this here fella, we call the Stone.
I can see why. What's up with him? Cat got his tongue?
No, more like the dog got it. The executioner's dog. And the executioner ripped it out of him. Anyway, you better come along with me, or I'll introduce you to the other fellas. And the chief. These here are the Bearman brothers, Petter and Jan. They're a barrel of laughs, except when they're too drunk to string two words together. Like now. Don't get on the wrong side of them, though, when their blood is up. Oh, it ain't a pretty sight.
Pleased to make your acquaintance, I'm sure.
Never mind the fancy poses, Stefan. You're trying to kill the fucker, not teach him how to dance. And you, Dangler, stand your ground. Don't let him lead you round by the nose.
Sir? Well, sir, this is Henry. From Lord Kobler.
Oh, it's about time Radzig got round to this. You need someone who knows their way around these parts. Leave off with the bowing and curtsy. We don't hold with that tomfoolery here. Jakey! Where the hell are you sneaking off to? Go to the farm and get water. The lads are thirsty.
But I went last time.
And you'll go next time, you ungrateful pup. Get your ass moving. Snot-nosed brat. You pull them out of a pile of shit. And they thank you with back talk. Where were we? Oh yeah. We need a guide who knows these parts. So I hope I can rely on you, Herman.
It's Henry.
Right. As I said to Radzig, I don't want to carry any dead weight. We could find ourselves in some very tight situations where every sword counts.
I know how to handle a sword, all right.
I've heard a lot of fellas say that. I still ended up on the wrong end of one. We'll find out. Stefan, take a break. Dangler, let's find out what Harold here can do. Sure. No problem, Chief. You didn't fare badly at all. You can ride with us.
All right.
Don't thank me yet. You don't know what you're letting yourself in for.
Sir Kuno, can you tell me something about yourself?
Drop the sir. That title brought me nothing but grief. But what do you want?
Sir Radzig told me the Rickvold family lost its wealth. How did that happen?
There's all sorts of ways to become impoverished. Nothing easy. Especially when your father's a fool. And your mother's mad as a bat.
Oh.
It's a long and twisted story. We took our name from Rickval Castle, but that actually belonged to the convent of the Poor Clares in Tynitz, and my father only leased it. You see, he knew the abbess there since they were young. Knew her very well. There was even talk that she only joined the order, because her family wouldn't let her marry him. Anyway, whether he was fucking her right there in the convent, or he just took a lot of interest in scripture, he spent an awful lot of time in Tiny's. Sinning and confessing all in one place. Well, anyway, my mother never had strong nerves. Truth be told, her sanity was always shaky. Pa's escapades drove her cuckoo entirely. Then, one frosty December morning, I was woken by screaming and smoke. I looked out the window. I saw my mother there, in the courtyard, wreathed in flames. Behind her, the stables, the farm buildings, and the tower were burning too. And she just stood there, shrieking with laughter.
Christ. Sounds like...
Hellish it was, I can tell you. Me and my sister Adela and a few servants managed to get out before the whole place went up. I couldn't get to my father. Or my little brother. That was only 7. My sister and I were left destitute after the fire. Then my cousin, Adam of Drevich, took us into his castle. A few weeks later, he offered to buy what was left of our estates and sell me a small fortress near a convent. It was a great relief. We suddenly had some hope of a future again. So I told my sister about it. And it was the biggest mistake of my life. A week later, the two of them announced to me they were getting married. And all that was left of our estates, lands, woods, villages, Adela was to get it all as a dowry.
But surely that was for you to decide. You were the head of the family, right?
Aye. Only I barely had 17 years under my belt, and I'd just lost everything. You're telling me. But I'm not complaining. As my pa always used to say, if you could turn your hand to something, you'll never be lost. I doubt it ever crossed his mind how often I'd remember those words.
What about your debt?
A twist of fate, lad. I was fighting in the hostilities between the House of Schallenberg and the town of Colleen. Some trade dispute it was, and I fought under the Schallenberg colours. In the end, the two sides negotiated a truce, and I rode to Colleen with a delegation that was to parley there. We stopped off at an inn on the way, and it was there that I met Radzig Kobyla. I could tell at first sight he was a man after my own heart. A likeable rogue, with a sharp mind and a merry soul. We spent the whole night drinking together and talking, and in the morning we set off together with sore heads, but in good temper, since he was travelling to Colleen same as I was. Only, once we reached the city gates, they arrested me on the spot. Seems the burghers had it in for me, since I'd been making their lives hell for a good 6 months. On the other hand, I was a member of the peace delegation, so by rights, they shouldn't have even looked at me sideways. And then it hit me why Radzig was there. Colleen is a royal city, so he was there to represent the king's interest.
I see. So
that's right. Anyway, they threw me in a dungeon, and a few days later, word reached me that the Schallenbergs had reached an agreement with the burghers. Only part of the deal was they would give them my head, and I'd surely have ended my days swinging from the town battlements if it hadn't been for Radzig. He liked me, and he could see it was a dirty trick, so he somehow squared things with the city council.
Lucky for you.
Indeed. I owe my life to Radzig, and I'll never forget it. He's asked me twice before for help. This is the 3rd time.
I'd like to ask about your men.
Ask away.
What about the fellow they...
I've never ridden with a better man, I can tell you. He doesn't say a lot, but for that, he listens all the better. Nothing escapes him.
So he scouts for you?
Not just that. It's happened more than once. I was closing a deal with someone, and Dangler told me after that he didn't like the smell of the fella nearly every time he was right, and the fellow tried to stab me in the back afterwards.
Those Behrman brothers are quite...
Indeed they are. There's no more mercy in them than in, well, a bear. If I told them to skewer you on the spot, they'd do it, without batting an eyelid.
Jesus.
Oh, aye. They'd argue first about which one of them got to do the job. But they're as obedient as a huntsman's dogs. Real soldiers, a pair of them. Reliable, as long as they don't get too drunk. Then there's no keeping them under control. But nobody's perfect.
What can you tell me about Stefan?
Fletching? For one thing, he's a very resourceful fellow.
How did he come to...
Well, let's just say he was in the right place at the right time. You'll find he has quite a knack for that.
What exactly happened?
Sorry, I'd love to tell you the whole story, but I'd be betraying his...
Oh, now you've got me curious.
Sure, why not?
What about that dumb one? How did he end up with...
The stone?
Just like that?
Aye, just like that. We were riding from Olamots to a castle past Kladsko, when we ran into him and some other wayfarers camping along the way. You know how it goes. We made acquaintance with them, had a drink or two. Then we travelled on together. After all, there's safety in numbers.
I'm not sure I'd be thinking that if I ran into you lot on the road.
We might have done some things I ain't proud of. But wayfarers are sacred even for me. Anyway, our fellow travellers dropped off along the way. One in Mohelnitz, one in Schoenberg, and the rest in Kladsko. Except for the stone. He stuck with us the whole way. The fellas kept asking him what he was after. But of course he never said a word. When we were approaching Barsdorf, I ordered the men to get rid of him. I had some business at the castle, and I didn't want any strangers sticking their noses in. Stefan tried to tell him nicely, but he just sat there, staring like he was turned to stone. That's when we gave him the name. Then the Bearman brothers tried to get him off his horse. He booted Jan in the face and knocked him out cold. Then he jumped... A man who can do that is a man you want on your side. So we kept him.
Weren't you worried about having a stranger in your band? Especially one who didn't talk.
No, I figured if you can't talk, you can't tell. Besides, I've had...
What about Jake?
Jakey, that boy will be the death of me. You've got to be tough on him, or he's good for nothing. But I'm fond of him, in a way.
Like a son?
I wouldn't go that far. But I've no family of my own. And unlike those other cutthroats, he seems to me like a good lad.
You're pretty hard on him, Dave. And the others keep him on his toes, too.
Boy needs a firm hand. I was like him once, and I got the same too. If we let him be, we'd end up with a third bear man. And who'd want that?
True. Should we ride out?
Aye. We ought to set out on patrol about now. I'd like to head to the north. Is there anything...
North of here, Samapesh and Melhoyed are that way, and Talmberg is a bit further on. There's stables in Melhoyed.
I wouldn't mind paying a visit to those stables. We can go through there.
And from there?
From there, we'll follow our noses. Something interesting is sure to turn up.
Sure. Jesus Christ, what a massacre. They weren't even armed. No signs of resistance. They simply slaughtered them like animals.
Keep your eyes peeled, though. There might be someone hiding out here still. Look for clues and question the survivors, if there are any.
Still smouldering. Whoever torched it can't have got very far. Poor wretch.
want to know about this. I found this shield in a shed along with a letter. Seems like someone left us a message.
Show me that. I know that, Chris. It's the House of Zool. A dangerous lot, God's truth. I don't think we'll find anything else here. We'll stay here a while, just in case. And you should go and report to Radzig what happened.
What do you know about this?
The family of impoverished nobles. They fought in the Margraviate Wars in Moravia.
I thought I could go and search for those raiders. They might not have gotten very far yet.
Alright. It's always good to have an extra pair of eyes. We'll keep searching here for a while, and then head back to the camp.
Looks like it happened fast. You found anything interesting?
Fuck all. They cleaned him out good and...
And what did you do?
Don't you worry. I seen plenty of wounded fellas.
I see. And did he tell you anything?
He mumbled something.
Did the raiders leave?
Well, they came from the northwest. A horse or two and a few...
Anything else?
No.
Hey.
Kuno, you're men.
What did you expect, Henry? Old habits die hard. Most of the lads ain't had an easy life.
Oh, maybe it's time they turned out.
You ought to be a priest. Try telling them you're...
Would you stop to...
You think they'll have any use?
That's not the point. Robbing the dead...
That's what you say. I say it's all the fucking same to them. They're dead. And Prague Roshan are what?
I'm telling you for the last...
And I'm telling you.
You call yourself a Christian, and you're robbing the dead.
They've no use for anything, and
I've seen your camp. It doesn't look to...
Not now. But a man's got to have something to secure.
And what did you take? Oh, great. You can retire right away. I hope it's worth your immortal soul to you.
You're a bit holier than thou, ain't you? God bless. May the Lord watch over you.
Greetings.
Sir, I'm afraid I have some bad news. We came across a burnt-out farm near Merhayed.
Christ! It seems Pribyslavitz wasn't the end of it.
Well, this is something else, sir. We found a shield there with a crest. A tricolour star on a blue field.
I know that coat of arms, unfortunately. It's the House of Zul.
There was a letter there, too.
Show it to me. Although I think I already know what it will say.
You are, sir?
Unscrupulous beast. Cruelty and malevolence. I challenge you to face me in a duel. Defend your honor. Antinomius French. Oh, that's nice. Signed, Hagen Zul. As I expected, old grievances.
What happened between you?
That's
Well, I'd like to hear the whole story, sir.
very well. It began in the first year of King Wenceslas's reign. He sent me to resolve a dispute between the Zuls and a neighbouring house. It concerned land boundaries. The Zuls had refused to accept the ruling of the land court. His Majesty's position was a little shaky after his coronation. So a decision was made in the royal court to take radical action against any dissent in the kingdom. Since the Zul family was defying the king, we were obliged to punish them. Harshly, as the circumstances demanded. The head of the family, Hagen's father, was hanged, their castle razed to the ground and their property confiscated.
So, they're out for vengeance. But you acted according to the law.
Would it were that simple, lad? I was young and didn't realise the repercussions it would bring. For one thing, the king didn't use it to strengthen his position. On the contrary, he took less and less interest in such affairs.
How come?
Because he realised things would eventually sort themselves out. He promoted me to royal hetman, leaving him to pursue other interests. Secondly, my actions essentially created another band of robbers. When you strip a nobleman of his property, you can't expect him to take to begging. And thirdly, I wasn't aware at the time that the other party to the dispute was distantly related to me. Naturally, that made it look like I was acting in self-interest. If I'd known what I know...
Mr. Hagen wants to...
Apparently, he still hopes I will agree to this kind of outmoded...
Surely you can't refuse a challenge to a duel.
Henry, my boy, honor is a splendid thing, and it should be held in high regard. But in time, you'll learn that some matters are not so straightforward.
Like this one?
Yes, like this one. The only reason Hagen is challenging me now is that he has a marked advantage. I've served as the royal hetman for the last 15 years and become a courtier. Hagen, meanwhile, was fighting in the Margraviate Wars in Moravia and elsewhere as a mercenary. Which of us do you think would win a duel? That's not honor, but an abuse of honor. Commonplace opportunism. I don't blame him.
Well, what are we going to do?
You and Kuno's band will just have to deal with Hagen and prevent further mayhem. The longer he's...
So you'd fight him?
Let's hope it doesn't come to that. But maybe there's something else behind this challenge. Maybe it's coin he's after. Who knows?
All right.
I'm sure you...
I'd like to ask something about...
Sure.
Goodbye.
What is it, Jakey?
The stone wants to talk with you, if you can call it that. Probably about that ring.
What ring?
Ah, no one told you about it. The fellas call it the Ring of Bacchus. It's a kind of game we play. Kuno gave us this ring. It's just a worthless bauble. But when we're at the tavern, Kuno pays everything for the man who has the ring. So we steal the ring from each other and try to trick each other. Well, actually, just the others. They won't let me play. Kuno says I'm too young to get boozed up.
That sounds like a lot of fun. But I don't have...
He probably wants you to steal it from someone. Since you're new, the fellows will talk to you and it won't be suspicious.
All right. Hey, Jakey, can you
Want to get matey, eh? Sure, Henry. What do you want to know?
How did you end up in Kuno?
Well, I used to be a baker's hand in Prague, but all the other fellows were always on my back,
always swearing at me. Sometimes they even beat me up, took everything I had. To make a bit of coin, I started going to the tavern across the road, entertaining the rich gents with jokes, playing the fool. Sometimes someone would throw me a half-groschen. One time, Kuno turned up there, and I got to talking with him. When I told him all the shit I was getting at the bakery, he offered to take me with him.
I bet you were glad to get out of there.
Yeah, though it's not like they give me much peace here either. It's all,
Jakey, come here. Jakey, go there. Jakey, get that.
Well, surely you can't be any worse off here than in the bakery.
no. Only, at the bakery, the worst I ever got was a beating. It's not like my life was in danger. But here, when those Beerman brothers are drunk, I have to keep well out of sight.
How come they bullied you at the bakery? It's usually the shy ones bullies pick on. That's not exactly you.
Not now, maybe. I learned a thing or two since then.
Oh, come on, you, shy? You just said you were playing the fool and telling jokes in the tavern.
All right, I'll tell you the truth. They picked on me because I'm an orphan. The parish priest of St. Apollinaire's in Prague found me as a baby in the church one winter's morning. I spent half my childhood in parish houses and half on the street.
I see.
It still is tough, I can tell you that.
What do you think about this business with Hagen Zool?
Zool? Huh. I'd rather keep that to myself. But since you're the only one who's interested in my opinion, I'll tell you. I reckon Radzig's making a big mistake. I might not be grown up yet, but I've walked in these shoes long enough to know that asking a mercenary to do something for nothing is stupid.
Wait, what are you trying to say?
Never mind. It's just a feeling I have.
All right, we'll drop it then. Can you tell me something?
Why not? I haven't been to...
How did you end up...
It's nothing new for me and my brother. We've been fighting for coins since we were old enough to carry swords. Last time we rode with one Lombardian by the name of Collini. All over Bavaria, Austria and that.
What happened? Did you fall out?
Nah, we just wanted to come back to Bohemia. You know how it is. Where no one understands a word you say, it ain't worth a damn.
You and Petr seem very close.
As brothers should be, lad.
To tell the truth, I'd never have guessed the two of you came from the same mother.
Oh, we've got the same ma, all right. I ain't got no ma, and neither does he. And the same goes for our pa. It's probably Satan himself.
Oh.
We might be. We might not. A band of mercenaries found us in a village when I was still a baby, and Petr hardly walking. Playing in the dirt together, we was. Their leader took a shine to us for some reason. He took us away and raised us up. Raised us with swords for playthings and ale for mother's milk. A few years later, he was killed in Saxony. The band fell apart, but we joined another right away. That's the way it's been ever since, over and over.
So you two never had... well,
a normal life. We ride from one fight to another, risking our necks and killing who they pay us to kill. That's normal for us. Always has been.
What do you think about the...
That's a very tricky matter, I can tell you. Them Zools are well known among us mercenaries. Hagen and his two brothers fought in the Margraviate Wars. That's quite a feather to have in your cap. On the other hand, they've got their weaknesses.
Like what?
They still like to think of themselves as high and mighty lords. Kuno got over that, thank Christ, and he treats us all like equals.
You think Hagen's men have no great love for him?
Well, I'd say they're running before his whip more than following his flag, if you understand me.
Aye. Stefan.
Where's he?
I'm curious how you...
You noticed I don't exactly fit in with this pack of felons and reprobates, huh? Unfortunately, you can't always choose your company, can you?
No, I suppose not. But how did you come...
Oh, well, I'd love to tell you, but Kuno insisted we keep that between the two of us. And I'm not one to break a contract.
Oh. But, well, Kuno said it was you who wanted to keep it secret.
Really? Are you sure about that? You must have misunderstood him.
No, I don't think so. At least... Oh, never mind. So, where did you live?
I used to live in a town before. Back there I was doing something very different. Although, now I think of it, maybe it wasn't that different in a way, if you know what I mean.
Actually, I haven't the foggiest idea what you mean. You don't give anything away, do you?
Me? I'm an open book, lad. Ask me anything you like, and I'll give you an honest answer. Go on.
Maybe another time.
As you wish. Shame, though. There's nothing I enjoy more than conversing.
What do you think about this business with...
I'd say you and Sir Radzig are very fortunate to have Kuno on the job. He's a master at handling such matter.
Is he?
Dealing with bastards like Hag and Zoel demands both courage and sharp wits. It's not a commonplace combination, but Kuno has both in abundance.
I've got a bit of coin today. What better way...
Your fame precedes you, but you won't get the better of me. We'll see. This'll be the one. That's it. What the hell's with these damn dice? Shit!
Tell me something.
What do you want to know?
How did you and
Me and my brother been riding with coin men since we was little. This was just another mercenary band for us. But Kuno seemed like a decent kind of fellow who'd treat us fair.
Your brother was saying you rode before with some Collini fella.
He did he? Did he tell you why we finished with him?
Yeah, he said you missed Bohemia.
Ha ha! Miss Bohemia! That's good! Ha ha ha! But it ain't far from the truth. Jan missed any place where he wouldn't have a band of furious Italians looking to skin him alive.
Ah. He did something to anger them.
Oh, aye. While Collini was away, he broke into the trunk where the coin was kept. Took it all and wagered it with a fellow who claimed his bear knew how to dance, and lost it all.
What? The bear really did dance?
Aye. The costliest Chardash we ever watched. We had to get the fuck out of there before Collini came back, and had the two of us dancing, on the end of a rope.
What do you think about this business with...
Well, I'm worried Kuno is underestimating Hagen. I was at the siege of Lansenbach with the both of them, so I know a thing or two about it. Hagen's got all these noble airs and graces. These knights that talk of honor and glory. Kuno reckons they're like lost lambs on the battlefield, and he's usually right. But that Hagen ain't no lamb. He's a cold-blooded killer, by all accounts.
Jakey sent me to you.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose you want me to...
Mm-hmm.
Who has it? Jan Berman?
Mm-mm.
Peter Berman?
Mm-mm.
You mean Jakey? I didn't quite... Is it fletching? Does Dangler have it? All right. Can you tell me...
What do you want?
Why do they call you Dangler?
Because Kuno found me dangling on the end of a rope.
Ah, I see. So, he saved you from execution?
I wouldn't call it an execution exactly. At the time I was squire to the Lord of Boozitz. There was a proper knight for you, full of ideals and honour. I looked up to him as a hero. Then in one skirmish he was killed, and the foe took me captive. They stood me on a shaky wooden cross with my hands tied behind my back and a noose around my neck. For amusement. Then they rode off laughing.
But how long were you stuck there?
I couldn't tell you. Hours, maybe days. In the end, everything started going black. I could feel the devil pulling me down by the legs.
Jesus!
I didn't. When Kuno found me, he says I was dead as a doornail. They cut me down, took the rope off me, and someone gave me a kick and I coughed and came back to life. Sort of.
What do you think about this
Arganzup?
That robber baron who's been pillaging Sir Radzig's estate?
He did. But then he says a lot of things. Zul, Radzig, Sokol and Hinek have ride somewhere, kill some fellas, have a drink and go to sleep. If you're lucky, it won't.
Hey, I want the Ring of Bacchus.
So you come and ask me for it?
Well, you don't just have to steal it from each other.
No, I don't play dice.
All right.
I'll wager the ring.
Sure.
Well, now it's something worth fighting for. Oh, fair fight. Well, I don't like giving it up. Well, at least I won't get so plastered next time. Just watch how it doesn't get pinched.
I got the ring from Dangler. Yeah, well, yeah, thanks to... I'd been to see...
So how did he take...
Well, he wasn't exact...
I can well imagine. I wouldn't want the Zul's plundering my estates either. If I had any.
He wants us to carry on patrolling the area.
That makes sense. I don't think he'll come to us. So we'll just have to hope we run in...
Sure.
Mount up then.
Please, can we stop for a bit? My arse is aching, and I've such a thirst I could drink a moat dry.
Same here. What do you say, Chief?
Not to worry. We'll reach it soon. We'll spend the night there.
I heard they've got a peculiar priest there. They say he drinks like the devil himself.
There's nothing strange about that. Every other man on the cloth is a swill pot.
Or a lecher.
Or both.
Quiet. Listen.
For the love of God, help! Please, please, sir, help me.
Don't worry, lass. Nothing to fear. We're with Sir Radzig, in the manner of speaking. What's the matter?
These brigands came. The menfolk fled and left us there. They started pillaging the place, drinking whatever they could find and smashing things. I ran off, but the other girls, You've got to save them. Please, I beg you.
Easy, lass. Drinking, you say?
Aye, sir. They rolled the casks into the courtyard and started swilling like pigs from a trough.
Well, as our old cook used to say, if you want to make a proper goulash, you should soak the meat in ale for a while to soften it first.
Ah, let them get well soaked, and then go and chop them up. Good thinking, Chief.
But what about the girls? Those men, they were...
Ah, I'm sure your friends won't be getting nothing they ain't had before.
Well, unless they be nuns.
Kuno, the girl's right. If we delay...
I appreciate your advice, Henry. But it's caution that'll keep you alive, not chivalrous deeds.
You promised Sir Radzig you protect his fiefdom, and that means his subject...
Come on, it's not like their lives are in any real danger. Hagen's men just want a bit of fun.
A bit of fun? Are you fucking serious? You know very well, Kuno, how innocent girls can end up after a bit of fun with animals like that. Well, I, for one, am not going to sit back and let it happen, even if I have to creep in there myself and try to rescue them.
Oh, all right. It's not the smartest thing to do. But let's go and tackle those fuckers if that's how you want it.
Good. Thanks.
Right. We better try and save those girls from Hagen's brutes. Let's go! luck, lads.
So, where's those damsels we so gallantly rescued?
They took to their heels as soon as they saw the pair of you. Can't say I blame them.
The fucking ingratitude. Well, at least the booze didn't run away.
Aye, booze will never let you down.
So grab some tankards and let's get to it. We've a long way to go to finish the job.
Come and count some spots, eh, Henry?
No whiskers to tickle your knuckles.
You want to have a scrap?
Scrap? That's pudding. You've nothing better to...
All right.
You're a man after my own heart.
Well, a wager like that.
You're very sure of your...
Come and count some spots, eh, Henry? Always.
Well, that depends what you...
I've got... The shield's got the Rickvald crest, a nice piece, handles well, then I've got this combat jupon, and then there's this noble hat. It's not a lot of use on the back. It'll certainly make a big
I like the sound of that shield.
Alright, but after all, fine things like...
This should be enough.
That'll do me. I can't wait to see how you throw. That's it.
I figured maybe she liked sweet bread, seeing as how she didn't eat meat.
This'll be the one. We'll see. No luck tonight. What the hell's with these damn dice? That's it. This'll be the one. We'll see. Come on, it's time I had a throw. You're lucky. Too damn lucky for my taste. I'll be keeping a close eye on you.
How about that?
I do indeed.
From the start. I'll play you.
All right, but after all,
This should be.
that'll do me. Your fame precedes you, but you won't get the better of me.
Don't see that often. Probably a gypsy. Who even talks to you? You kept your mouth shut.
By the time it went my way. We'll see. That's it. God's holy hat.
Come and talk to us, lad. So you'll have some tales to run around with.
Come on, it's time I had a throw. This'll be the one. That'll do me. Not afraid of anything, eh? Not afraid of anything, eh? Use your head, man. You'll lose everything. What the hell's with these damn dice?
Appeared to me. It was that time in Cully, or white people, like she'd been rolling in flour. I wanted to ask what kind of bread you bake. I figured maybe she liked sweet bread, seeing as how she didn't eat meat. But who knows? I always liked black.
Holy mother of God, why do you punish me?
How about?
This...
I can't wait to see how you throw. Use your head, man. You'll lose everything.
Especially by the mill. But the mill needs it. How come millmaids are always so pretty? That's a funny thing. Because the mill has.
Ah, come on, it's time I had a throw. Ah, come on, it's time I had a throw. I can't fall your way for that. Holy Mother of God, why do you punish me?
They left us some damn good booze here. As my old man used to say, the fire of battle must be quenched. Of course, the only battle he was ever in was with Ma. But still, it fits. Anyway.
Sure.
My words Me and the lads were just saying how we know nothing about you. Most of the folk around here have hardly been further than the village market. But you must have seen a thing or two.
That I have. I suppose you heard about the raising of Skalitz?
Aye, I heard. And Radzig told me you're from there. But that's probably not the kind of story to go with wine and good cheer.
Have you heard of Sir Hans Capon?
I heard his name mentioned in Colleen. In connection with some wench, as I recall. A young dandy, eh?
Yeah, that's him. He's going to inherit Ratai once he comes of age. I run some errands for him now and again. Well, once we were at the baths together, and his lordship wanted to seduce one of the bath maids.
Naturally, that's what the baths are for, among other things.
Yeah, but with Sir Hans, nothing is ever straightforward. First, I had to play strip dice.
That's good. Did you win?
I did, but I had to strip myself anyway to get into the tub. Only, no sooner had I done so, than his lordship demanded wine from the castle cellars, which is a long fucking way from there.
I reckon you're a man who can't resist a challenge.
If I'd been sober. I went all the way there and back in my undergarments, and no sooner was I back than he sent me to pick flowers for the girl from the castle gardens.
It's starting to sound like a fairy tale with 3 wishes.
Well, actually, he probably did have a 3rd wish, but he didn't get a chance to say it.
How's that?
Well, I got back only to find the girl's sweetheart, some guard called Arsenballs, well, that's what Sir Hans called him, trying to drown him in the bath.
Drown a nobleman over a wench. That's balls, all right.
Well, Sir Hans was naked and drunk, so he didn't look very noble. Anyway, I tackled this fella and saved Sir Hans from him. It could have all got out of hand, but it ended with only a few bruises. Sir Hans never got his way with the girl, though.
All that trouble for nothing. Tell us another.
Once I met a very peculiar character in Sasau. He was selling amulets, relics, and all sorts of supposedly miraculous junk.
Charlatan! You want to watch out for fellas like that.
Indeed. But this charlatan took me on as an apprentice.
The sorcerer's apprentice? You're having me on, right?
No, it wasn't like that. He just wanted me to, acquire some things for him. Nothing too difficult, so I did it.
What kind of?
Like a tooth from St. Procopius, for instance?
What? Relics like that don't exactly grow on trees.
Oh, of course. So instead, we settled for a tooth from some labourer called Procopius.
So this fella was walking around with a mouthful of relics. How did it end up?
Well, in the end, the charlatan was driven out of town by an irate mob. I was lucky they didn't lynch me instead.
Nobody likes a swindler, that's for sure. Tell us another.
Have you seen Sasau?
I've seen it from the outside. A fine building. But at the pace they're going, it'll never be finished.
Yeah, you could be right.
Like
I was...
Good one. Only the monks are allowed in there.
Exactly.
Come on, Henry, I like a good story, but at least...
I swear to God. I had to get in there to find a fella who was hiding out amongst the monks.
I see, but they don't take, no offence, every idiot that comes along.
No. You have to be able to read and write, and speak Latin, and sing it, even. Yeah, or at least convince them you can.
You speak Latin?
Sure. Basio sepo volam, qui plagam diligo solam.
I'm impressed. What does it mean?
Something about how you can't trust anyone. I don't know exactly.
You don't have to understand Latin to know that.
No, it comes in handy if you want to insult a priest.
Well, we have a scholar in our midst. And what's it like in the cloisters?
It's like time moves at a different pace there. You pretty much have to do the same thing day in, day out. Get up before dawn, pray in the chapel, eat with the brothers, then go and work in the gardens or the library.
I don't think I could have...
Yeah. It takes some getting used to, all right?
A nice story, but let's...
Yeah! What's it about, Stan?
Ah, Henry, the very man I wanted to see. I heard you got the ring from Dangler and gave it to the stone. Let's not beat around the bush. I could use your help too. I think the stone has had the ring long enough.
I'll help you.
I want to steal the ring from the stone while he's asleep. But that fella sleeps, and I've got a feeling you're the kind of man...
Sure.
Great. I knew I could count on you. And if...
I've got that potion for you. A few drops...
I hope not. Babies have a tendency to shut themselves and wake up screaming.
Can you tell me...
What do you want?
Can we set up?
Sure. We'll head towards Sasau today. Jakey heard at the tavern in Ledechko that someone there saw some unfamiliar horseman.
You think they could be Hagens?
Maybe, maybe not. It's enough that they're not local. Could be the escort of some merchant caravan, of course. Jakey, go and scout ahead. Don't want us running into any surprises. See if there's a good spot for us to camp.
Right, Chief.
What's the matter with Jakey? No back talk.
I gave him a swig of schnapps at supper. Perhaps it made a man of him overnight.
All that boar piss of yours took away his will to live.
Zastubi devitek potoki vina, nes venis nes semezis viva, nes venis nes neskas eslavi, fidel
gang! Quick! Before they cut us off!
Oh, Sakra. He's run off again.
He can't hide from me.
What now?
I don't know. They could be lying in wait for us anywhere.
So every man for himself?
Just so.
But you think it was one of the band?
Look around for yourself. Who's missing? Jakey. That's who. I sent him on ahead, and he knows which way we're going. That little fucking Judas. When I get my hands on him, he'll rue the day he was born.
I'll try and track him down.
No, it's too risky. He could have Hagen's people all around. Hey!
I see everyone.
Thank Christ. Someone up there must like us. Somehow we always manage to get out of these sticky situations.
Oh, someone up there, or someone down there.
Yeah, right. Well, the main thing is we made it.
So we'll go patrolling.
We will, but not you.
What?
I found out where Jakey is. I want you to grab him and beat everything he knows about Hagen out of him.
Well, that sounds like a good plan.
For one thing, you're reliable. And for another, you're not likely to wring his neck on sight. Which can't be said for the rest of us.
Where is he hiding?
He isn't, the little shit. He's drinking away his 30 pieces of silver.
The inn in the glade?
Yeah, that's the...
What are you going to be?
We'll go on patrol as normal.
But what if they're waiting to...
It could well be, Henry. So you should be very careful.
I'll get going then.
Go. And when you find him...
Right, Chief.
Radzig's man!
Hey, mate!
Let me guess.
Yeah.
So...
Look it.
Sounds fair enough. I want that ring.
Ha! Frosty.
Well, those are the...
True enough. Only I did the sensible thing and hid it carefully. It's not so much about the free booze. I'm just a competitive bastard by nature. But just to make things interesting, here's a wee clue for you. Find the dead standing among the living and turn your eyes heavenwards.
I'm looking for the ring of Bacchus. Fletching is supposed...
You won't have it easy, then. Fletcher's as tricky as they come.
I'm looking for that ring for your brother. Stefan had it last, but he hid it somewhere. Any idea where it might be?
No doubt he wants to keep it safe from drunken bastards like my brother. Me? No.
I'm looking for that ring.
Christ.
Enough of what?
Chasing around after that trinket. It's just as well you took it from me, though. Don't need any extra temptation to get drunk.
Thanks anyway. I'm looking for the ring, but Stefan has hidden it somewhere. Any idea where it might be?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, you know something. Where he hid it. Birds?
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me...
Mm-mm.
I've got the ring.
Kuno won't know what hit here.
Thanks.
I'm glad to see you.
I'm looking for a young...
A cheeky-looking stripling.
That'll be him or...
Well, I don't like to snitch on my guests. It ain't good.
Thanks, Andrew.
Well, I was gonna throw him out on his ear at first. He strolls in here like some lord, ordering people around. He's nothing but a snot-nosed brat. But then, he showed me the way of his person. Well, business is business. He stayed here a couple of days. Yesterday evening he was boozing here, and then went off to the woods with some wench.
To the woods?
Someone said they saw them heading south across the meadow. There's pine woods there and cliffs. The girl's father was here with her, a merchant. As soon as he noticed she was gone, he went off to look for her.
All right.
My respects.
What's going on here?
Marie, my daughter's... Some people at the inn said they saw her running this way with some fellow.
I see.
I would, of course. Only, they said the fellow was armed. And I've got a horse and wagon here.
Well, she's your daughter.
The thing is, it's not the first time she's done it. But I've got to carry on to Sternberg.
Ah. We have something in common. I'm looking for that fellow who ran off with your daughter.
What? You know him?
A little.
Is he dangerous?
Ah, he's as gentle as a lamb.
That's a relief.
I can have a look.
You do that?
Of course. Helping my neighbour in his hour of need is my Christian...
Thank you.
You said you found her Scot...
Yes.
Hmm.
Farewell.
Looks like Hansel and Gretel went this way.
Let's see what you think.
Raymant's on the rocky outcrop, so it seems.
I'm glad you're here, Henry. I thought I'd be stuck here till Judgment Day. What the I picked up this wench at the inn, see? Only the bitch whacked me on the head.
Did she now?
I haven't a clue. But I reckon as far away from her father as she can get. She won't be going back in a hurry. I've met some mad wenches in my time, but that one was a piece of work. She could have just asked me for coin, instead of trying to smash my skull right away. And then... Listen, Henry, that thing with Hagen, I didn't want to, really. But they kept threatening me. And then, they offered me coin. Jesus, Henry, I've never seen a pile of coin like that in my life. Kuno wouldn't give me as much as half a groschen for a cheap wench.
Yeah, my heart bleeds. Enough.
Hagen? Lord Zool? Yeah, I'll tell you, Henry. We're still mates, right?
I don't know if I'd go as far as mates, but let's just say I understand.
I knew you and me would understand each other. So you'll let me go if I tell you?
Let you go? That rock must have really scrambled your brains.
Henry, I'm really sorry. I swear. Those fellas scared the wits out of me.
I can believe that. But why didn't you tell us about it? You didn't have to betray us.
I don't know. I was confused. Please, let me go.
First, tell me where Hagen is, and then we'll see.
I won't say anything as long as I'm tied up. I know how that goes. I'll be left here for the crows.
Why did you have to betray Kuno?
Yeah, just like Kuno would do. You've only been with us a while. If you'd been riding with him as long as I have, you'd see through him. He passes himself off as an angel of mercy, but he's as much of a swine as any common footpad.
You're an ungrateful brat, Jakey. There's lads of your age work in the fields and sweating in forges, and no one pampers them. But you get a chance others can only dream of, and what have you done with it?
But they don't risk ending up gutted in some ditch, day in, day out.
Funny you should say that, since you just came pretty close to it. And for what? You go boozing for a few days, and then you get duped by the first wench you run into. You don't want to talk? All right. I know what you mean, Jakey. Kuno's no less of a bastard than that Hagen. They're all birds of a feather.
Yeah, right? But why ride with them then?
Because Kuno's on my side. I didn't pick him, and maybe Sir Radzig wouldn't have either if he had a choice. But one thing I know, if you don't tell me where Hagen is, more innocent people will suffer.
I suppose you're right. Hagen's planning to raid some village. Samapesh, I think. He's gonna go there in person, along with what's left of his band. So...
I'll untie you, all right? And take you where you belong.
What? What are you saying? Where?
To jail.
But you can't. We had an agreement.
We didn't agree on anything. My conscience is clear.
I'm honored that a knight as a
I have news of...
Oh?
That little vixen bashed Jakey over the head and took his money.
Clever lass.
What?
Who cares? The question is, where's Maria? Why hasn't she come back?
Well, it's not that I feel sorry for that sneaky bastard, but you seem suspiciously happy with your daughter's behaviour.
Well, Maria's a big girl. I'm glad she's able to take care of herself. So where is she?
I don't know. She cleared off after she robbed him.
The little bitch. Never mind. It's not the first time she's done it. Anyway, I'll wait here a bit longer.
All right.
Run along. May the Lord watch over you.
I found Jakey, and I know what Hagen is planning.
Spit it out then.
Zul plans to raid Samapesh, and he wants to lead the attack himself.
I see.
I took him to the Rat Eye jailhouse.
What will happen to him?
That's up to Sir Radzig. Considering what he did, he'll be lucky to get out of it alive.
I'm not so sure. Radzig always had a soft heart. He got me off the gallows after all. Saddle up now. We'll ride to Samapesh right away.
All right.
There they are. I can see Zul's colours. It seems they want a parley, sir.
Parlay, eh? Right then.
Let's parley.
God be with you, Sir Kuno.
My respects, Sir Hagen.
I don't believe I've had the pleasure since the siege of Lansenbach, wasn't it?
An age ago that was. In those days we fought under the same banner.
We did. And even today, we may yet part friends. After all, my quarrel is not with you, but with Coppola.
The thing is, your quarrel with Lord Coppola is my affair, since he tasked me with keeping order in his lands. And you, Hagen, you were disturbing that order.
No offence, sir, but you are just a mercenary whose main concern is keeping order in his purse. My dispute with Radzig Coppola concerns a higher ideal. Coppola shamed my family over a trifling misdemeanor. He hanged my father, razed our castle to the ground, gave our property away to his family and cronies. And for that, I demand just retribution. But you don't have to stand in my way, Kuno. I'm well aware why you serve Radzig. You owe him a favor. And from what I've heard, it's not the first time you've had to pay him back. It won't be the last either. The fact of the matter is, you fight Coppola's battles for him, and you've little or nothing to show for it. If you accept my offer, on the other hand, you can ride away from here a rich man. What do you say, sir?
Kuno, you're making a common mistake, Henry. There's a difference between what a man can't do and what he ought not to do. In this case, the difference is the size of Hagen's offer.
I understand. But supposing I make up that difference out of my own purse?
You? Henry, have you seen the size of that chest?
I have, but you might be surprised. And what have you got to lose anyway? Coin is coin, and if you stay on our side, you can still keep your honor too.
Maybe. But you'll have to pay a high price because Hagen's offer has one big advantage. I don't have to risk my life and that of my men to take it. So, what have you got to match that?
Is this enough?
Well now, little...
Since it's you...
Come now, just a little more and we have a deal. Well, well. I never expected that from Radzig or from any of his people. It's a shame you didn't mention that coin right at the start. I'd have put a bit more effort into things.
You'll stay then?
Obviously.
Well, it didn't seem so obvious to me.
Come on now, Henry. Don't take offence. And let's go and deal with Hagen. It's true, Sir Hagen. This is not the first time I've paid Radzig back. Nor will it be the last. But then, he did save my neck from the noose. So I'll be long beholden to him. I'll make no bargain with you. But I will take your silver.
You would fight me? You're a damn fool.
I've no wish to fight, but neither do you. Otherwise you wouldn't have tried to buy me off. So it seems that we're evenly matched. Let's see who fortune favours.
So be it.
Well, that's that. What now?
Now?
That's all.
What else is there? That's the nature of the job, Henry. You go somewhere, kill some men, and then you go and get your reward. Unless you're doing it for nothing, like a fool. But you should go and bring Radzig some good news, finally.
Good news? You nearly betrayed Sir Radzig.
You mustn't take it like that, Henry. Radzig knows well how things stand with me. And that was the last favour I'll do him.
I don't think he'll...
If there's anything else you want from us, we'll be at the encampment in a few more days. And then, God willing, we'll move on. Well...
Greetings.
Sir, we got rid of Zul.
Finally, some good news. Tell me all about it.
We caught up with Hagen in the fields near Merhoyed, and there was a skirmish. But before that, Hagen tried to bribe Kuno.
Tell me, how did you persuade Kuno to stay on our side?
You're assuming Kuno would have gone for Hagen's offer?
I'm quite certain he gave it some thought. Considering I don't pay him a single groschen, probably quite a lot of thought.
You're quite right.
So, how...
In the end, I had to jingle my purse a bit.
What? Look here, Henry, I know you're not a pauper, but Hagen must have offered Kuno quite a pile of coin. How could you match that?
Indeed. He offered a king's ransom. And it's true, I'm no pauper, but if you don't mind, I'd rather keep the details to myself.
As you wish, lad. Any losses on our side? Kuno's men? How did they fare?
We were fortunate. Everyone survived, including Kuno.
That's how it should. Anyway, you deserve it, and thank you, Henry. Once again, I'm beholden to you. I don't know what I'd do without you.
Thank you, sir. But I'm sure you'd have managed without me.
Don't be so modest, lad. Since that catastrophe at Skalitz, I don't have many people left that I can rely on. Best go and rest now.
Thank you, sir.
Take care. See you later.